Hello, and welcome to our Sustainable World podcast, a series where we travel around the world interviewing some of the world's most innovative entrepreneurs and businesses, tackling some of the most challenging sustainability problems. Today, we are joined by Benjamin Odhiambo, CEO of SANIWISE, and we are in a very interesting location today. And first of all, let me welcome you, Benjamin,
Thank you.
and can you just tell us a bit about where we are today?
You are at a SANIWISE Technologies Center where we develop sanitation technologies to tackle sanitation problems within the low-income areas.
And we're also part of the SANIWISE office as part of something larger. It's part of the water treatment centre as well.
Yes, we have a Kisumu Water and Sanitation Company
Mm.
who is our host
Mm.
uh, because they are into sanitation. They have been this has been KIWASCO has been like our incubation hub,
Mm.
offering us with the technical support and other supports. For example, the land where we have SANIWISE
Mm.
was provided to us by Kisumu Water and Sanitation Company
Mm.
for free
Wow.
because they understand that it is important to come together and solve sanitation problem, which is in which we are experiencing within the city, and also they have seen the potential in SANIWISE toilet,
Mm.
which is our flagship project.
Yes. And I think earlier on you were telling me that um, all the water treatment for the whole of Kisumu happens here.
Yes, this
Mm.
is where we treat, we recover. In fact, it's a recovery center.
Mm.
We recover wastewater and release it back into the environment, safe
Mm.
for consumption. This is where most of the things in relation to sanitation happen.
Mm.
So it's a strategic point to be when you are doing matters sanitation.
Mm.
Yes.
So can you just explain to us who is SaniWise and what is your mission?
SANIWISE Technologies is an amalgamation of young professionals who had lived and still live within the low-income areas of Kisumu, and during their growing up, interacted with the negative impacts of poor sanitation within the low-income areas. During that time when we were growing up, we lost some of our friends, and through diseases related to sanitation, and we still see our people experience the same challenges. That is why, after going and acquiring knowledge in various fields, we still came together and try and solve this problem to break the chain
Mm.
of the suffering that our people are still experiencing within the low income areas. So we are more into, I say we are more into preventive medicine.
Mm.
Yes.
So can you just help paint the picture of what it's like living without access to proper sanitation? What does that look like for someone living in a low income area? What do they not have access to, for example?
No human being should live like that.
Mm.
Uh, having living in an environment where you wake up in the morning and you interact with fecal matter all the time,
Mm.
and also you incur a lot of expenditure in trying to treat diseases related to poor sanitation. It is not dignifying at all because to some extent you find even children lose their time not going to school because of diseases. We even lose, they even lose, parents lose their time. They can't, sometimes you can't go to work because the parent is sick. And you see some of these people live hand to mouth. So if a parent is sick because of sanitation related disease, which are more frequent, it means for a person living hand to mouth, then the house, the family will go hungry for that day. So those are the challenges. It is not easy, and no human being should be subjected to such kind of life.
And as you mentioned, some people pay more of a price than just a day off work or a day off school. Some people actually lose their lives through diseases caused by this.
Yes, we have a lot of people losing their lives because of poor sanitation, but also not only diseases, but also we have collapsing toilets. We have experienced a lot of children who die in pit latrines when they go to use them.
Mm.
Accidents happen.
Yeah.
So it is there are a lot of challenges that come with pit latrines. They also come with an extra cost where you have to of emptying. Okay, emptying a pit latrine is very expensive. So you find that you, with the low income that someone earns, spending it again in emptying a pit latrine becomes a challenge. So that is why we developed SANIWISE toilet to eliminate the issue of emptying.
Mm.
Okay, so that we turn that waste into a resource. See, the best way to eliminate a menace in the environment is by turning it into a resource
Mm.
so that everyone sees it as something of value. Then it will just disappear.
Mm.
Okay, we wanted to come up with something that do not only tackle sanitation but also tackle other aspects of climate change like plastic waste.
Mm.
Okay, and that is how we came up with the SANIWISE toilet.
And just for my own benefit and for the people watching the podcast, when you mentioned a pig latrine, what is that? What is the process of creating a latrine?
A pit latrine, you first have to dig a pit,
Mm.
and you must understand that most of our areas we have high water table. So a pit latrine will pollute the underground water. That
Mm.
is one, the disadvantage that comes with. Then you start the construction. But most of these pit latrines, you find that we have loose soil in Kisumu. Some parts we have loose soil, so they can't last long,
Mm.
and they are also very expensive to construct. So these factors make people resort to other other waste management practices which are not friendly to the environment, like open defecation. But even those who have pit latrines, they end up emptying and disposing illegally.
Mm.
Eventually, it ends up into the lake, and the more we pollute the lake, the more, because the company also draws its water from the lake. So the more the lake is polluted, the more money the company uses to clean that water or to treat that water, that cost is transferred back to the people living within the within the low income areas. So pit latrines are also not sustainable, but they seem to be the option that our people have. So we are currently, that's why we came up with, that's the beauty that SANIWISE toilet comes with. Because with SANIWISE toilet, there is no empty, that is one. Waste is turned into a resource. Number two, there is no digging, so we don't pollute the underground water. Number three, it is very affordable. I think it is the cheapest toilet in the world, apart from open defecation. Yes.
And yeah, as you say, the problem, by the sounds of it, is the people who are having to dig their trains, and then it's too expensive to get it officially emptied, so they have to find other routes, which is dumping it in the lake. But then the problem just
Comes back to them.
appears in a different form, which is more expensive water.
Yeah.
Which we can't live without water, so
Yeah.
it makes the lives even tougher.
Yeah. It
Wow.
comes back to them. Yeah. And it comes back to you too. To me also. And even to someone who never participated. Even those people who don't live within the low income areas. Sanitation, we are almost approaching the tipping point. And there will be no reverse gear. Okay? Because the level of investment in sanitation is very low. Okay? In Kenya, since 2002, access to water, potable water, has grown by 12%, but access to proper sanitation has declined by 5%.
Wow.
Yes. So you find that access to sanitation, the population is growing very fast. I can say geometrically, the population is growing geometrically, but you find that access to sanitation or sanitation facilities available growing arithmetically. See? And that is the challenge. So and it is estimated that by 2050, people living within the towns or cities shall have gone up by around 70%. There will be a big challenge if it is not addressed today. If we don't address it today, then there will be a very big problem that we will not be able to solve. Yeah.
And so you've decided that this is a challenge that you and SaniWise want to take on, and provide sanitation for the growing population.
Yes.
So can you just talk us through your experience and how it was for you setting up SaniWise and developing the first product, and then getting that first toilet out there?
Yes, it was. We wanted to come up with something that do not only, as I said earlier, do not only address the issue of sanitation, but also do not address sanitation the traditional way it has been addressed, where we have the pit latrine and dumping, or exhausting, or containment, then treatment. That is, we wanted something that would promote circularity, ecological sanitation, and we also realized that it is alive to all of us that even taking containment and treatment won't be sustainable in future, because even constructing a treatment facility is very expensive, takes a lot of money. And also, to have a treatment facility, you need a very big piece of land. Okay? Population is growing. To have a treatment facilities also come with their challenges, where the challenge of smell, the challenge of, you see, the challenge of smell. We have the other challenge of land. They need a big space. But even after treating, we still dispose into the environment.
Mm.
Okay? But even after this, when we dispose, there's no treatment plant in the world which is 100%. Okay?
Mm.
We can't reduce it back to that original water to its original state. Okay? Treatment facilities also release a lot of methane gas, hydrogen sulfide during treatment. We also have most of the vehicles that exhaust and bring for treatment. People use old vehicles,
Mm.
and when they are coming transporting that waste, they release a lot of carbon in the environment. That is why we wanted to come up with something that can address this challenge, these challenges. Okay, and SANIWISE toilet addresses these challenges. Uh, it does not allow room for decomposition, so there is no release of greenhouse gases made using recycled plastic waste. We give you a business model that promotes you and gives you an opportunity not only to pay in cash, but also you can give us plastic waste, okay, of equal value. You are supposed to give us 550 per month, but you can collect plastic waste and bring to us because it is a raw material, okay.
Mm.
So people unknowingly cleaning the environment and at the same time having access to proper sanitation. If I have SANIWISE toilet and you are my neighbor, you don't have, and you use plastic and throw it away, I'll pick it because I know it is a mode of payment I can use to pay for my toilet.
Mm.
Okay, so we wanted to make this thing more accessible to the urban poor so that anybody, regardless, you don't have an excuse, you can have a toilet. Okay, so SANIWISE toilet, we wanted to come up with something that addresses all these challenges, plastic problem, even food security, because the maggots we produce from the toilet are very nutritious. Okay,
Mm.
they have a lot of nutrients that if you give them to your animals, they grow very fast. The fertilizer that comes from our toilet, the manure is very good, and it also promotes soil, the soil. It re-engineers the soil.
Mm.
The organic fertilizer, the inorganic fertilizers that are there, they add acidity to the soil. This re-engineers the soil because it has very good microbes that re-engineers the soil, and you don't have to use them frequently. Use it frequently. You can use it once. It will we call it the soil engineer. Our fertilizer manure. We call it the soil engineer.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you touched upon it a little bit as you were talking there, but could you just talk us through the business model? So, if someone in the community wants to get a toilet from you, what steps do they have to take? How much do they pay, etc., etc.?
Uh, the business model for our toilet is we you pay an installation fee of 4,000 shillings, Kenyan shillings. Then you pay a monthly fee of 550 for a certain period of time. But you have the option of paying this monthly subscription using plastic waste. Okay, so before the end of the month or during the month, you can collect plastic waste. I use a bottle of water, I'll keep it. My plastic container get broken. Instead of throwing it in the environment, I keep it. My neighbor has no SANIWISE toilet. He uses plastic waste. Instead of throwing it away, or if I see him throwing it away, I'll take it. Okay. I walk around the village and I see plastic waste. Someone has thrown it away. I pick it, I bring it to my home, I keep it. At the end of the month, you bring it to SANIWISE. Okay? Then we see what value have you brought. We subtract from the 550. So you can bring us 300. The value of your plastic, for example, is 300 at the end of the month. You then pay us 250. Okay? Because we want to make this thing very affordable and more accessible to anybody. Okay? We understand our people. Okay? We understand our people. It is where we grew. So we know what they want. We know what they can afford. We understand the challenges. So it is from there that we are trying to come up with what can work for them. Yes.
I was just doing some quick maths in my head there. It's around 25 US dollars up front, the 4,000 shillings,
Okay.
and then it's maybe
$3 to $4.
$3 to $4 a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's quite an affordable solution then.
Yeah.
And as you said, you can subsidize it with plastic waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
So as you've explained the business model, so where are you at now with SaniWise? What stage are you at in your journey as a company?
Sanitation attracts very little funding because the margin is very small. And it is an area which is not being taken more serious. But it is the most critical area that affects other areas of development. With poor sanitation, you will have very expensive, you will pay your water very expensively, for your water very expensively. Because most of the waste, more than 40% of waste emptied within the low income areas don't end up in treatment facilities. Where do they go? More than 40%. Where do they go? They end up in streams, which ends up in the lakes. You can see if you go to Lake Victoria, the lake is turning green. Why? Because it is high nutrition, high. The nutrients are getting higher. These nutrients are in waste. Okay. So even as much as we want to blame the industries for polluting the lake, are we playing our part? Okay. Because in fact we are polluting more than the industries. Yeah. If more than 40% of the waste emptied within the low-income areas are not getting into the treatment facilities, they are emptied at night, and some are pumped into the streams, which when it rains, they are then swept into the lake. Okay, so sanitation is a very critical area, though not taken serious, and does not attract more funding because it is more of a social enterprise. Okay, it is more of a social enterprise. So we hope that in future people will realize the importance and view sanitation as a critical aspect of environment and climate change. Uh, we we are trying, and as you can see, we have been given land by KIWASCO. Okay, that's a very big boost. We are now setting up for a major rollout. We need a lot of funding to subsidize what we are doing, so that we are able to give the toilet to those who deserve, those who need it. But it is very difficult to attract funding in sanitation. Okay, it is very difficult, but we hope that that will come.
Yeah, and of course, one of the reasons you want to attract funding is, well, there's two reasons. One is to continue the good work you're already doing,
Yeah,
but you're also developing a new technology
yeah.
to turn human waste into biofuel. Could you just talk a bit about how you came up with that idea,
Mm.
the concept, and what you're trying to develop?
Yes, as SANIWISE, we try to explore all options, how we can reuse fecal matter, and we have developed a technology, a formula which we are using to. We have tested, it has worked on how to change human waste into biofuel. We have established that from 10 liters of fecal matter, we are able to get 2.5 liters of biofuel,
Mm.
which can be used to drive motorbikes and pump and generators and other automobiles which use super super petrol.
Mm.
It is a clean fuel that do not produce carbon. Yeah, so we are still working on the technology on how we can expand it
Mm.
and make it something of significant or significantly big.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm hearing at the moment is petrol prices are going up
Yeah.
here in Kenya. So this is solving two problems at once. One is
Mm.
the sanitation element, and what do you do with the waste you
Yeah.
collect? And the other one is it's providing more affordable fuel
Mm.
to those who need it.
Yes, yes. God gave us everything. It is us who wants to look the other way. Okay? But we have everything. And I can tell you, we have everything in waste. Fecal matter. From fecal matter, we get animal feed. From fecal matter, we can get fertilizer, manure. From fecal matter, we have fuel. What else do we need? These are the key things that drives any economy. What else do we need? So we need more research into fecal matter. Then some of these problems won't be there or will be minimized. Okay. Yeah.
And looking to the future, then, so if I was to ask you in 10 years' time, 10 years from now, where would you hope SaniWise is in its journey, and what kind of impact do you hope to have on Kisumu, on Kenya, East Africa, the world?
Our focus is within the lake basin, Lake Victoria. So in future, we would wish to seek SANIWISE within the counties bordering Lake Victoria, because our aim is also to protect this lake. It is the one of the largest freshwater lakes we have in the world. Okay? And it is in danger from plastic pollution to just pollution from fecal matter. Okay, and the, the urban poor are polluting the lake unknowingly, and also because they don't have any other option. Let us provide them with an option, then arrest them if they do something wrong, because you can't arrest someone with no option.
Mm.
Okay, you can't take someone to court while you have not provided that person with an option of how not to do it. So our focus is in the Lake Basin region to protect the lake, to protect Lake Victoria, from plastic pollution and pollution from fecal matter, but also expand to other parts of Africa. We have a very huge market in sanitation all over Africa. These are technology that can work anywhere, okay, and can solve African problem of food insecurity. Okay? So with SANIWISE technologies, with SANIWISE toilet, we can solve the problem of food security. We have cheap fertilizer, cheap manure, cheap animal feed, and also affordable sanitation facilities. But also, if we work well and expand on the biofuel, then we will have cheap fuel. What else do we need? Okay.
And yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, Lake Victoria plays a massive role in this region. It's the largest freshwater lake in Africa, second largest in the world, and it's not just Kenya that relies on Lake Victoria for access to fresh water. You've got Uganda, Rwanda, they all border Lake Victoria as well.
Uganda, Tanzania
as well. Yeah.
And also the Nile comes from Lake Victoria. How many countries?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's millions of people rely on Lake Victoria and the quality of the freshness of the water.
Yes. So instead of making noise at industries, what are we doing? Okay. What are we doing?
And how hopeful are you that you can turn things around? You as SANIWISE, but also the wider movement to keep Lake Victoria fresh for the millions of people who rely on it. How hopeful are you that things can get better?
I'm very hopeful things can get better because SANIWISE, we have a challenge, we have a problem. The problem is poor sanitation. We have a solution, SANIWISE toilets. We have a market, okay? And I think the only barrier is just resources. With the resources, you will see SANIWISE everywhere. We are incapacitated because we don't have enough resources to distribute the toilets. But if I give you the list today, you will see how many people wants the toilet. Okay, and you can't sell it in cash because it will be very expensive. And the model we want to use, you need some funding to install it for someone. There is a very huge market for sanitation.
And I'll just sort of finish up with sort of final question. When you think back to growing up, and you mentioned, you lost some people that you knew through disease to bad sanitation. Is that what drives you to keep going with this problem, to solve it, so that no one else has to experience the loss that you and your community had to experience because of poor sanitation?
Yes, my community is still facing the same problem. The challenges are there. We keep on losing children, infants, even the elderly due to sanitation related diseases. But not only that, the conditions there are pathetic. And no human being should be subjected to such experience. We want to solve that problem. We have to solve that problem because, as I said, we are almost getting to the tipping point. When that comes, if that comes to be, then there will be no reverse gear. There will be no reverse gear.
Benjamin, this has been a really interesting
Yeah.
interview. Thank you so much for your time today and for hosting us
Thank you very
at
much.
your office.
Thank you.